music, just hit us up. We got so much that we can discuss. Come to the booth and turn up with us.
Welcome to All Star Studio. I'm your host, Universe Dragon, and I'm here with me today, Syence99 in the house. How we doing today, man?
What's going on, y'all? I am doing good, man. Thank you so much for asking. The seasons are changing, it's due season for me. So, I'm just feeling great, man. Ready to move into the next chapter. How about you, bro?
Man, I'm doing good. Just living life to the best of my ability, man. Like just, one day at a time, on the grind, on the climb. And that's it.
Amen to that, bro. Amen.
Yes, indeed, man. But let's talk about you, Science, man. Like how you first off, you've done a lot within this community when it comes to music and everything like that. And you have a very unique style and voice. That people pick on when they hear that, they're like, oh, that's Science right there. I can already tell before I hit the chord. You have a really good voice and you've done a lot in this community. But before we really dive into the music part, first I want to start at the beginning. At the beginning, how did you get here? What brought you into Horizon?
Wow, what brought me into Horizon or what brought me into music? Because
what brought you into Horizon? What got you into this app right here?
Got you. So actually a friend of mine had an Oculus and they were like, hey man, I'm in this metaverse world and it's super, super cool. And a year prior to that, I was talking to my sister. I'm getting older, and with age, you start kind of dwindling your friend group, circles start to get a little bit tighter. And I was like, man, I can't be out there like, drinking and partying and doing all that stuff that I used to do. I need to find a good alternative. And so I actually started doing some research about VR and stuff like that. And so a friend of mine was like, hey, I got this Oculus, it's like only a couple $100. I'd be on there till 3 o'clock in the morning, just chilling with people and vibing and making worlds and stuff. And I'm like, what? That's crazy, man. And I was like, I heard about this. I was going to get one. But when they told me that, I was like, it just solidified it. And so I went ahead, I bought myself one that month. And it's so funny. I ended up meeting up with that friend. We did a couple of escape rooms in Horizon, but we never stayed connected in Horizon. That person, I knew them IRL, and so I would ask them. I'd be like, "Yo, you going to get on Horizon tonight? Since we're not together, that maybe we could virtually be together." And they were like, "Man, that thing's just been collecting dust on my floor." And everything like that. And I'm like, are you serious? I'm having the time of my life of it.
So it brought you in and you kept going, but they kind of set it to the side.
Exactly. And so, of course, glory be to God, because he ordained all of that to happen, because I really just thought this was a social app, not thinking or knowing that there was events and these creator economies that were being built and grown inside of this metaverse. So it's just amazing that I ended up here. So
man, that is a crazy, that's an amazing and crazy story how it all came together in the way that it led to this right here. So sliding over into that, how long you been doing music? What got you into music? How long you been in music?
Wow. Okay. So I've always been a lover of music. Even when I was a little kid in diapers, my mom is from Jamaica. Her mom is from Jamaica, and my grandmother, she just used to sing all the time while I was growing up, and she would have me on the kitchen floor, and she'd be singing, and she would sing one note, and then she'd tell me to sing that note, and then she'd sing the harmony note to that, and we'll sing it together. And that kind of taught me what harmony was. And then I come from a religious background. My dad is a bishop, and so I grew up in the church, learning how to sing and everything like that, and sing with choirs. And from there, I got really interested in music theater. And so I was always in little ensembles and stuff like that. And I went to school for a little bit for music, but I think that the real question is when did I start taking myself seriously as a musician?
When did music become serious for you? Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And it recently became serious, maybe the past like year and a half, bro. I went through a lot of stuff. It's interesting. God always told me that I had this gift. I just didn't know what to do with it. One of the schools that I went to, you know, Patrice Rushen, right? The lady that sings "Send Me Forget Me
Yeah.
Nots." Yeah, she did a master class at one of the schools that I attended, and one of the things that she would talk about is knowing your why. Like, what is your why? And I realized after that masterclass, I ain't had no why. I was like, like I'm like, I could be a great singer, but like, why am I doing this? Who is this for? Who's my audience? Um, and that really, really got to me, bro. That along with a lot of other stuff in my life really just kind of weighed on me as a musician versus an artist, because I always knew I wanted to create something more than just like music theater, just doing other people's stuff. I always knew I wanted to do more than that. So life happened, right? And I decided that if I'm not utilizing the gift that God gave me in the right way, it's robbery. It's robbery to myself. It's robbery to the people that need to hear it. And it's robbery to God for the gift that He gave me. I need to give it back to Him. You know what I mean? And so I would say, yeah, the past like year and a half, I've been really taking myself seriously with my music.
Man, that is beautiful. I mean, and you know, I feel like there's a lot of people who have talents that they sit to the side, like such talent that they have instilled into them that we sit to the side. And I've been very much the same. For years I sat on the talent before I did it, but again, seeing that, like noticing and finding it back. Finding your way back to the talents that you have and really utilizing it and putting it forth. What I mean? It takes a lot to do that, but you know what I mean? Like you've done it, you found a way to do it. Um,
Yeah, dude.
yeah, I mean, and so, tell me some of the things that you've done in this space. So in this space, tell me a few things that you've been a part of.
So, and do you mean specifically Horizon, right?
Yeah, specifically Horizon. Now,
Okay,
have you done things
yes.
in other parts of the VR space, or is Horizon the
Um,
only place you perform?
so I performed in Spatial before. I'm actually doing a lot of things in different metaverses. One thing that I learned within the past, I guess, 2 years, right, that I've been involved in the Web3 metaverse space is that those cats who are like into cryptocurrencies and NFTs and stuff, at this point, they are now all building their own metaverses. They're collaborating with people to be able to do so, so that they can like bring utility to their communities and this gaming aspect of their like music or art or whatever it may be. And so I was in the Web3 community while I was kind of merging into the VR space, like as a social app, a social kind of thing. When it comes to VR, so far I have hosted a few events and been like the headliner for a few events. I used to do a weekly space. Here in Horizon, and I've also been a part of a few festivals as well. Mostly just like special parties. The Horizon Summer Jams. And I possibly am going to be doing something for Winter Jams. Maybe not. um,
How soon?
but but yeah, like really, in Horizon it's been about just kind of connecting and performing and just supporting the people and the artists and whoever and the builders that are in the space. That's kind of been my focus in Horizon.
Yeah, I mean, and then that's again, that's been that to diversify what you do and to get it is to in many people and in many places you possibly can. That's the idea. So it is good to to push your talents in as many places as you can, and that goes for anybody listening. Like, don't just stop at one place to do it. Even in here, hit multiple places, multiple studios, put yourself in front of multiple people, find multiple opportunities.
Well,
So
I think that is a really important thing to make sure that you're heard. You know what I mean? Like for sure. Um, uh, but one thing I do want to stress is that while you're making sure that you're heard, right? Going back to that whole why thing, right? Make sure that you're being heard by the people who you want to be heard by. You know what I mean? Like I think that I found myself in spaces when I first started doing this that didn't cater to vocalists. They didn't cater to my style even sometimes, and I just was there because I wanted my voice to be heard. And it was good that like those people heard me, but when I started being intentional about where I like wanted to share my art is when things started moving a little better. You start to build community better that way because you're being intentional about it.
I agree, 100% agree. Because if you're sitting in front of people who don't want to hear what you got to say, they're not going to listen or give
Yeah,
the talent. They're not there. They're not
yeah, you
locked
lost
in.
them in the first 30 seconds. You
Exactly.
lost them in
100%. 100%. I 100% agree. So if somebody was headed to this space, for the first time, they just got in here, what would you tell them? What kind of advice would you give somebody wanting to do what you do now and they just now got here? What advice would you give them?
Okay. The first advice I would give them is to be yourself. I know these are avatars. I get it. This is the opportunity for us to live in this virtual world, but be yourself. Be your true and genuine self. Don't put on for nobody. Don't troll for nobody. Don't do all that stuff because these people in here are meeting you for the first time. You know what I mean? And so you're making impressions and you never know who you're meeting in here. This metaverse world is small. This Web3 world is small, and not to say that you can't make mistakes, but to say that just be impressionable and be yourself while you're being impressionable. That would be my like go-to number one advice. Be yourself. And two, dude, have fun. If you're sitting there and imagine this. My friend told me this. One of my buddies in here told me this, and I thought it was the funniest thing. She said, "What do I look like putting on an expensive headset just to be mad and to be yelling at people?" To be full of drama all day. Then she said, imagine my child walking in and I got this headset on and I'm screaming and yelling at somebody and I'm looking at my wall screaming and yelling. Imagine what that looks like IRL, bro. Actually imagine what that looks like, So like if you're not enjoying yourself, then what's the point of all this, So make sure that you're putting yourself in environments and situations to have fun while being yourself. You know what I mean? So that would be my
100%. Like,
advice.
hey, some of the best advice given. Y'all heard it. You know what I'm saying? Like, be yourself.
I heard it.
Yourself. And yeah, and avoid all the drama.
So don't yell at the wall.
Avoid the drama. But so, people who do music for a long time, been doing music for as long as you have, a lot of people tend to lose that motivation. They lose that drive and that push. Even if they've been doing it for a short period of time, some people they lose it right away. My question is, what keeps you motivated? What keeps you motivated to continue to spread your voice and continue to push, your talents, to the community, to the the music community, and to the world?
Man, so God, bro, God is what's keeping me motivated. Because like I said, this is a gift that God has blessed me with. And every time that I think about quitting, I think about the people who really need to hear my story. I think about the people that I know I need to help that are going to be changed by the art and the music that I create. And I really do I don't really like this saying, but it is a very true statement. But one of my mentors, they say, these one of those situations where you take the meat and leave the bone. But but it's true that if you don't use it, then you lose it. And when I say that, I mean it in the sense of if you're not using it, you're going to talk yourself out of it, you're going to talk yourself out of not doing it. You know what I mean? And the only way to get better is to keep going. You got to grind under that pressure. You have to be made into a diamond. You have to be able to let him crush you. You know what I mean? So you can form into this beautiful, have this beautiful metamorphosis into this butterfly. You know what I mean? So So yeah, just keep going, stay motivated, and understand that also, like, some stuff is cringe, bro. Some stuff is just gonna be cringe. Like, I listened to something that I made like 3-4 years ago, dude, and it was a mess. I'm talking lyrically, I'm talking like how my, like, I was layering my vocals. I was like, wow. And it was funny because I was like, wow, I'm hard on myself now about like my vocal layering, but then it was horrible, man. It was cringe. It was cringe, and that was released, bro. People heard that, you know what I mean? So it's like, if you don't go through that, if you don't stand under the pressure to be able to keep growing, then you're never really going to grow. And another thing too, stay humble and be able to learn from people. You know, if you think you got it all figured out, then you ain't never going to grow. So
There's always room to grow. Got to be a sponge. That goes to everyone.
Yep. Yes, sir.
You know, but
Yes, sir.
100%, man. Uh, so how can people find you? Like, where can they find you? Where can they find your music? What's the best way to get music?
So I am working on a project right now. I'm not gonna drop like little singles here and there. I am working on a few collaborations at the moment, but that's definitely on the hush. But you can check it out and you'll be able to see it on my Instagram. That is Dominant Science. So the word dominant and then science, like my name. And that is on Instagram, and on there you can find a link to everything else that you need to find. It'll be in the link. The link will be in the bio.
All right. All right. That's what I'm talking about. And, you know, speaking of music and your talent, Syence, he's got something for us tonight. So he's about to go ahead and give us, Syence is about to give us a little something tonight. And we'll get to hear, you know, some of his vocal talent tonight. So stay tuned. Give us a second. About to drop that right now.
Yes. And this will be from the upcoming project. It's definitely a track from that. And, you know, just a reminder to just keep God first. And so I hope I inspire someone with this track. And yeah, bro, let's get into it. Yeah.
All right. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Sitting in the middle of the garden, I see you. I know you want more from me, and I know you'll get on the floor with me, you'll get low to pull me up when I'm down, yeah. But when you take me up so high, I start losing it. I try to fly by myself, I'm not used to it. I get to falling, your drill gets to losing. You told me to wait, then you stepped in and saved the day and poured out just a bit of your grace and said, when I start praising, that's when I'll see your face. Sometimes I can't explain how your spirit comes and fills up this place. Feel the stillness of this empty space. You're only one prayer away. You're only one prayer. I know my strength, it comes from you if I follow and worship in spirit and truth through them trials. And when it's just me and you, yeah, I need wisdom, I need peace, more of you, less of me, so that I can walk worthy. Walk worthy, yeah. You told me to wait, then you stepped in and saved the day, and poured out just a bit of your grace and said, when I start praising, that's when I'll see your face. Sometimes I can't explain how your spirit comes and fills up this place. Feel the stillness of this empty space. You're only one prayer away. You're only one prayer away. You stepped in and saved the day and poured out just a bit of your grace and said, when I start praising, then I can lean on you. Sitting in the middle of the garden, I see you.